Hello, my name is Matt and I'm going to show you how to take cost and effort from a Microsoft project plan and convert that into an Excel table that looks something like this. So firstly, we're going to start with the resource extract. I'm going to look at the report ribbon at the top. I'm going to select visual reports, resource usage, resource work availability report, and I'm going to make sure that this drop down is in months. I'm then going to extract that into Excel, which will give me a pivot table. I've now got to configure that pivot table, and on the values table on the right hand side, I want to make sure the only thing left ticked is work. In that first section, I then want resources, monthly calendar, and I don't want type. Now I can come across to the resource usage tab and expand out the years. But as this is a pivot table, I want to create formulas and I can't do that. So I'm going to select all that data, create a new tab, and I'm then going to paste the values across, which is the little clipboard with 1, 2, 3. From here, I now have all the data that I need, which is in days. Now I would like that in FTE. So what I'm going to do is create an identical table below, but I'm going to create a formula off the first, which is equal sum divided by 22, which is the average number of working days. I want to center that column and I want to adjust it so that it's a number, and I'm going to go with 1 decimal place. I'm going to drag this formula all the way across and I'm then going to drag it down. This gives me my FTE by month by role, and it's a good place to start your validation. So how I would do it is I look along the totals at the bottom. So I can immediately see we've got a fairly big jump in February and back down in March, and as you would expect, it gets progressively bigger throughout the delivery. Immediately, I can see that February is an anomaly that I would want to investigate further. I can do the same by role. So just looking down those roles, I can see that the business analyst is the biggest assignee, and next to that is project management. Now that might be the case, but I would generally start by validating both of those against the estimates that have been given. And if there are any changes that need to be made, I would make them in the project plan itself and go through the same process to export. Now I'm going to move on to exporting costs. So in order to do this, you need to have input the rate for each of those roles. I work off a day rate, however that could be adjusted to be /H and would be an hourly rate as shown in the overtime section. But assuming that you have assigned a cost for each of those roles, we are going to go to report, to visual reports and budget cost report, making sure that this is dropped down to months. I'm then going to export this data exactly the same way that I did in the last report. I've got a pivot table that I need to adjust, so I'm going to unselect actual cost, baseline cost and budget cost, leaving just cost. I do want to include resources just as a sanity check, and I want to remove tasks but select monthly calendar. Now in this tab, I've got all the data that I need to go through the same process. So I'm going to expand out the years. Again, as it's a pivot, I need to move all that data into a new tab, making sure that I copy values over. And this gives me the opportunity to create a formula. So I'm going to create equals sum of the data in the column above, and I'm going to drag it across, but I'm not going to format it yet, as I need to copy this data. I need to come to the original extract, and I now want to paste values across. Now I can format that data, so I want to select it all, format and change that to currency, and then I want to center that data. Now this gives me all of my effort by FTE, by role and by month, and the monthly expenditure along the way. So I hope that you found that useful. I am going to upload a series of videos that contain hints and tips just like this that I use to deliver projects. And if you're interested in learning more, please subscribe. And if you have any suggestions for topics that you struggle with, that you need some input with, please let me know and I'll try and create a similar guide. Thanks again for watching and good luck with your projects.